All right, what is up? Welcome to Spoiler Kings. We are going to discuss the finale of season one, Daredevil Born Again, which is the restarted universe of the Daredevil from the Netflix over on Disney Plus. Ninth episode, final episode. So we're gonna get to our ratings. So spoilers, if you haven't watched it yet, hit pause, come check it out, and join the conversation because we're gonna be talking about everything that happens in this. It was like a 60-minute, it was like hour-long episode.
It was a full hour long.
Awesome. like, yes, thank you, for at least doing it one time this season.
Right.
Yeah. We'll start off just kind of talking about it. Brandman, what you think about this finale?
I like that I like that it went all the way in terms of the violence factor.
Oh,
You definitely didn't pull any punches in that regard, huh? It was cool to see the Punisher in all his glory. It was cool to see Daredevil finally doing more of his thing. Just kind of a little more consistently. Visually, I really liked it. The set pieces were pretty cool. Charlie Cox, John Bernthal, Vincent D'Onofrio just doing their thing and just bringing their A game completely. It's cool to see Karen show up.
yeah.
I liked that. I like that we're gonna get more. It definitely left me wanting more. And it ended with one of my favorite Radiohead songs.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. What about you, Brian? What you think about it?
It was good. I was a little underwhelmed. I was thinking because they've done such a poor job with showing a lot of Daredevil that we were going to get a lot of stuff, and we got a lot of violent stuff, good quality, but I don't think the quantity was as much as I thought. I thought it was going to be more quantity and the same quality because all the fights were very good quality. I thought the story was going to be a little bit different, but it was good. It just, I don't know. Maybe it just I soured on the Daredevil a little bit because it's not long enough. The story didn't really. It felt more like a mid-season
Yep. I was just gonna say that.
than a full season finale.
Yep. This is like, oh, cool. In 2 weeks, we'll finish the story. It was like, nope.
And they're like, see you in 2026 March.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. It's that might affect the show more than anything else at this point.
Yeah,
you literally gave us a mid-season finale, and then we gotta wait a year. That's
Mhm.
it legit angers me because yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to hijack. Whoa, anything else?
No, that's
that was it.
Nervous. And you guys,
that was my point of frustration too.
Yeah.
It's
just it's aggravating, man. It's aggravating that you tease us finally with some awesome action, a cool team up, and then you literally just leave us there.
They
like, oh, we have to build an army. Okay, cool. You're gonna do that in the next 10 minutes? Because I want a finale. And it was
could
like,
have had
nope.
defenders there. You could have done so much more. If maybe some of this stuff, some of those other episodes where I was saying it's not really a good episode, didn't move the story along. I feel like if they didn't do those, cut them out totally, because I feel like there's 2 episodes you could cut out and nothing changes at all. And then you got here faster. Maybe this is the penultimate episode. Then we would have had a chance to really get a good finale. And then we would have had enough action. It's I don't want to say that it's good, if it's could have been better.
They House of the Dragon did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely season 2, House of Dragon for sure.
Like, I think I was reading Brandman's post on Facebook saying this entire season was like a preview or a trailer for season 2.
That's all.
That's exactly how I felt.
It didn't feel like it was a like a season. It so much as it did one big trailer for season 2, which I think is frustrating and a cop out. Focus on the story focus on making it a contained story for that specific season that
Mhm.
could lend itself to another season. You know, don't just build up. Don't just focus on, oh, hey, see you in a year. You know, big things are going to happen in a year.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that was my big point of frustration for this.
Mhm.
I thought that they were gonna, um, I thought that the first half of the season was kind of building up to Daredevil or Matt Murdock becoming Daredevil and doing Daredevil things, and then they just yanked the rug out from under you at the very end.
No, but I
See
mean,
you
he
next
didn't
season.
become Daredevil for such a. It took too long to become Daredevil,
Mhm.
and then we became Daredevil. They still gave you an episode where he wasn't Daredevil, and
Yeah.
it's just it's not enough Daredevil in the series, and that's what I was saying from the beginning. Like they're not doing a good job with this, and we were all saying, "Oh, wait, but it's only 9 episodes. So if it's 9 episodes for a season, you have to hit the ground running. You can't have time where it's too much fluff. You can't afford it because you're
Mhm.
calling the entire season. So now,
Yeah.
what I do believe is when I watch season 1 and season 2 together, that I'm going to say that was good. That would have been a great first season if it was together instead of
Yeah.
having a year apart.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I kind of wish they kept season 1, just hold it off for another year and give us an 18 episode season instead
Mhm.
of season 1, season 2, where it's really part 1 and part 2. That's what it really is. So
Why couldn't you do that? There's nothing from Marvel coming after July. Why couldn't you just release it in
yeah,
October?
yeah, you know, release in October, release it in December. Who gives a shit? Like, and then you could have done the mid-season kind of thing. I granted it does, like, if no one I feel like no one's learned from season 3 of Invincible, because Invincible did that. Remember?
Mhm.
Like they did 4 episodes, took a month off for whatever reason, and then finished the last 4. Like that ruined the whole season. Like it put a lot of people off. Um, and I feel like that's what they're kind of doing with this, where I thought overall the season was entertaining, but like you said, Brian, it's only part 1. I think once you watch next season and you watch all 18 episodes as a whole, you're like, "Oh, there's the whole story. That's good." But I gotta wait 2 years to get one whole story? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. So, um,
Same.
yeah, but I mean, this episode was good. I thought it was a good episode. It's just wasn't a finale
It
episode.
was a finale. It's a
You know?
mid-season finale.
Yeah, yeah, it's a tease for the climax, for the end, like the big finale, and it turns into exactly what Brandman said. It's a teaser for next season, and that sucks because that a season one season should never be a teaser for another season.
Mhm.
It should lead into it and build up to it, and there's stuff you can do, but is it a season if it doesn't really do anything except get you ready for next season? Then it's not what I wanted. So they should have just kept it in the bag for a year and released all 18 episodes together. You know,
I can't wait to felt that this was happening. That's why I kept on saying it every week, and then we're at the
yeah,
end, and that's what happened.
yeah. But it's like I thought the acting was good. I thought the story was good. I see what they're doing. They're setting it up. I think that's good. I love what they're doing with Kingpin. I love what they did with Vanessa. Punisher, I think, is having a really interesting story.
But you knew there was
Like,
only 9 episodes.
and that's the problem. Is like you literally give us half of the story, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah,
So
but we
frustrating.
we saw it coming. We knew it was only going to be 9,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Especially like the initial announcement was 18 episode first season, and then they legit cut it in half. They're like, oh no, we're gonna split it into 2. Why? Like you had so many people hyped up for it. I mean, I kind of understand why they had to fix a lot of stuff. I
The
feel like
reshoot and a lot of stuff.
I felt a lot of this episode was some reshoots.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like for sure. with having Karen coming back.
The reshoots and the writer's strike was the influence of that was really felt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even when Karen coming in, or even having Punisher there, because remember he wasn't going to be in the original one, so you know that whole thing, basically the whole heart of this episode was all reshoot, because you know they weren't going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know, and then, again at that point, which means season 2 is all the like them starting fresh. You know what I mean? Like it's not the original second 9 episodes. You know, it's not the second half of the first season. It's all new, so they had to give themselves time. So they threw this out there, but like you said, honestly, at this point, with the state of the MCU, especially the television side of it, should have just waited. Should have just waited, give it to it all at once, and give us one heck of a season instead of awesome build up for next season.
Honestly, I still feel like this show felt disjointed. I feel like you felt the two different writers. You could see this writer group was doing this, and then this writer group was doing something totally different, and you can see the difference in there. And that's not a good thing too. You could have figured that out. You could have said, we're not going to do this, we're not going to bring this character in so we don't ruin this character. You know, like there's things that they could have done, and they could have made it together and made it, less of a break, and it would have been better off. Now I'm not sure what's going to become of it.
Yeah. Here real quick, get some comments. Delta Dan said, who were the army in the bar? A legal politician fight team, a political team to fight Fisk. I saw a few cops. They really didn't show, too much besides people you already knew.
But I don't think that was the army. I think he was talking about he needs to galvanize the entire city.
The people, I think. Yeah.
And that's what you'll get to galvanize.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I was also hoping for the Defenders. I was hoping for because they live in the city too. So it was like it's affecting them directly. So why wouldn't they all team up and like, hey, we gotta take down Kingpin? And maybe
the last episode could have did it, right? That's all we could do. Just one episode could have done, or at least show them going to talk to them or calling them to come in.
Yeah. Or even just do a cheesy line. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we need an army. Like, we need somebody to defend New York. It's like I don't know. You could have done something stupid. Even that would have been some kind of setup.
I would have been okay with that.
What if they would have did it like in the club that Mike Coulter or Luke Cage has? You could have did that. You could have done right in front of Jessica Jones' building. You could have done things like that to that effect.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I was really hoping to see Jessica Jones because I was hearing so much that she was going to be in it. She was going to be in it. She's going to be in it, and you didn't get it.
At the absolute least, I was hoping for Jessica Jones to show up.
Yeah,
that seemed like the most plausible.
Yeah.
They've been talking about it. Kristen Ritter's been talking about it. How she's game for it.
She said she's not in it.
She did.
Yeah. She said, I'm not in it. I would love for them to be in it. They could call me, but I'm not in it. But we just all thought she was lying.
Yeah.
Telling the truth. Damn it. Let's see, Delta Dan said, I said this earlier, but yeah, them remaking the season didn't work. All we need was episode 1, the Matt and Frank scene, and episode 8 and 9. Also, Karen over Heather. Yeah, Heather was annoying.
I hate her so much.
Yeah, she's so stupid.
Oh
she's so fucking stupid.
Ugh.
I was like, come on, man.
I was fine with her until like the whole aftermath with Muse.
Yeah.
I thought she was stupid even when she was being, the doctor, the therapist for Fisk and Vanessa. I thought even then she was doing stupid stuff, and that's why I started seeing that. I was like, man, I don't think I'm gonna like this lady. And then she started saying stuff about the masked vigilantes, and I was like, I'm really not gonna like this lady. And then, like, as it went further along, I was like, yep, confirmed. I hate her. She's cute,
Yeah.
she's good
So-
looking, but everyone that
and-
dates Daredevil is good looking. So
Yeah, I know, right? That was the whole meme. Is like, oh, is he really blind? You know, because damn. But also it's like Matt told you, I think in episode 8, like, hey, like, dude's not a good guy. He's using you. And then in episode 9, he's in the hospital bed saying, "Stop! Don't mess with him. Please don't mess with him."
Yeah.
Like the bag, and she's still like, "You're crazy." Like, he just got shot. Like,
Mhm.
like
You
trying to
saw this
defend him.
all happen.
Yeah, and she's still like, it's okay. So yeah, she's a dumbass. But yeah, but like Brian said, if it felt you can tell, like episode 1, episode 9, those were the rewrites. Those were the updated ones, and it felt very different. Those felt like Netflix ones, the ones in between felt
1689. 1689.
9. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she's like does dancing 2 to 6 was
Was it
I don't know
6
what
to
that
1
was,
the first time we saw Daredevil? Wasn't that 6?
or was that
Wasn't that
6?
or was
Or
6
that
to
7?
1? Well,
No, that it was 7's when he fights Muse, right?
6.
6 we
6 is
fight.
when he fights
That's what I
Muse?
thought. Yeah.
So-
Okay.
that's-
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Like the whole bank one, awesome episode.
Mhm.
In an
That
18
episode.
episode season.
Season.
When,
Mhm.
take it out. Take it out and put something meaningful in,
Mhm.
Like it was a cool episode, it was a fun episode, but unnecessary.
What's the point of doing White Tiger?
Oh, did he freeze or did I freeze?
I think Brian did.
Okay.
Yeah, I
mean-
froze. I froze
Okay.
the time. Yeah.
I mean that. Yeah, no, but I heard you saying, like, why bring in White Tiger? Why do the whole court thing? And that's what felt like the original writers. They were doing this Law and Order kind of thing. You know. So I mean, hopefully we get the niece coming in as White Tiger. That'd be
Mhm.
cool. Because that's who the next person is in line. But yeah, just very, very disjointed at times for sure. I agree. I said Matt, Frank, and Kingpin were good. Didn't need so much Matt Heather stuff, and Kingpin's Vanessa. LOL. Fiddle Faddle guy had zero payoff. The Fiddle Faddle guy. That's funny. But yeah, he really did. The Kingpin and Vanessa, I didn't mind as much because it lets you know what was going on, why he was gone, and
Well,
how
everyone
also
kept on
she's
saying
crazy.
Vanessa. Everyone was like, Vanessa said that she's trying to be Kingpin. I was like, no, she's not. She just wants him to be Kingpin. She wants power, and she wants him to be Kingpin.
Yeah, that's what it wound up being. Yeah, she wanted her husband back, not this dude. And I one thing I loved was he started off skinny. I don't know if you guys noticed. He started off skinny in the beginning of the season, and he's like, "I'm gonna be the good guy. I need to make the city better." And then as he kept getting more and more back, becoming Kingpin for this last episode, he was bigger. He was bigger than episode 1 for sure.
Yeah, he was bigger, but he got bigger all the time. As he put on the jacket that dinner night,
Yeah,
he got bigger.
yeah.
He's like, oh, the jacket doesn't fit because he was getting as he's becoming
Yeah.
more Kingpin. He got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Uh-huh. Bro, when he squeezes the fucking guy's head,
Holy
Dude.
shit. Holy shit.
wow, man, wow, that was awesome. That was insane. I did not expect to see that.
Right.
Like the dude, he rips his jaw off and like pokes a hole through his skull. Like,
A Disney
oh, man.
production, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's what I wanted, man. I wanted, that Kingpin who like bashed somebody's head in, season
Exactly.
1, with a car door. So I don't mind them giving him this like super strength kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, that's the character. He's
Yeah, exactly.
like girthy, but like in huge, but it's all muscle.
Mhm.
A brute. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, so See, Delta said, I want to see Jessica too. Yeah. And then Sheet is saying, Jessica will be in next half, probably. I hope so.
You never
I
know, though. That's the
hope
problem.
so. Yeah.
Mm.
I hope so. Mama said, I wouldn't complain about seeing Luke Cage if they bring him back. Yeah. Yeah.
That's another thing. Some people hate Mike Coulter. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
How could you
I
hate
don't
Mike
know.
Coulter? He's the man.
Who's perfect. Perfect Luke Cage.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
You know who's the biggest hater?
I know.
Oh, we argued like literally all day Sunday.
About Luke Cage.
Like this is like for three weeks now. We've been arguing about that.
That's yeah, not here, man. I want him back. He was
No,
awesome.
there will be no Mike Coulter slander around these parts.
Yeah, great actor, way better actor than the dude from Agents Shield.
Yeah, I don't know, like what are they talking about? I don't even know.
He's a good actor. He's fine. He's a soap opera kind of actor. You know, Mike Coulter is like legit. Like, yeah. Yeah. So Delta Dan said, quote, I saved me. And that was Heather. He goes, you're hot, but come on if you don't think Daredevil saved you.
That had We Are the Flash energy all over it.
Yep.
We Are the Flash. I need to make that into a little clip. We are the Flash. Said Shorty was fine though.
Yeah.
Heather.
Margarita Laviva, or however you pronounce her last name. Yeah,
Oh, is that who it was?
she's always been absolutely bad. I agree on that.
Yeah. I've been a fan of her for years. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna skip over a couple of the other ones so we keep on topic. Kingpin did eat a whole package of sausage on top of pasta while he was torturing Vanessa's handy side piece. Is that true? You know what? That is funny. I kind of want to go back and watch this season and watch what he was eating because he does eat. I think he's one of the only guys that eats like during the show.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I wonder if his portions got bigger.
Yeah, I
throughout
want to
the
go back and watch it all like in succession. Sorry, I have an itch on my back.
Very good.
Yeah,
but that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch it like all at once.
Well, Mama Bear said, my opinions of Mike Coulter won't change Alonzo's mind. There's nothing that could change Alonzo's mind. When he's wrong, he's just wrong. I guess I was not surprised when Kingpin crushed the former commissioner's head. It was so right on par. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised by it. I was just because I'm like, once he got him, I'm like, he's gonna kill him. I knew he was gonna kill him. Just how he was gonna kill him. And once he grabbed him, I'm like, oh, he's gonna choke him out. He's squeezing the head. I was like, oh, what are we gonna get? I thought we were gonna get the eyeballs popping out, like something crazy,
Yeah.
Yeah. but also I just love like he did it in front of all the other dudes. He's like, you guys are bad. He goes, but I'm evil. I'm like the Kingpin. And like he kind of like also proved to his like evil cop army that, don't mess with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it was awesome. It was awesome.
I like that. Well, I've always loved Vincent D'Onofrio as this character and just kind of like the approach that he's brought to the character in terms of the mannerisms, the voice, stuff like that. Like he actually has felt like he's become the character. I think that at this point, one thing that really worked, especially with this revival, it kind of lends itself to him becoming more comic accurate Kingpin in terms of like the brute strength, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that really worked for me.
Which I like. I'm cool with that. I know a lot of people were upset with him being in Hawkeye, where he started getting this powers. Same thing in Echo. But I was like, I don't hate it as much.
Well, people have to understand, they were integrating the character into the greater universe. So
Uh-huh.
they were inevitably going to incorporate some of the more fantastical elements, but I still kind of buy it
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
approach that they've gone.
yeah.
You
Because
know,
like you said, it's who the character is.
yeah.
It's what makes him
So
awesome.
yeah, I don't think that's anything to get. I'm certainly not upset about
Yeah,
it.
no,
you know,
I'm not. I am not.
I don't
Uh,
think it's anything that you can get upset about.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
It's a comic book show. Yeah, like it
Yeah,
should be a little,
it's it.
comic booky at times.
Yeah, it's a heightened reality. Come on.
Yeah. Delta Dan said, "I'm a Mike
Well,
Coulter hater, because he swooped my girl Jessica Jones."
he sure did. I'll tell
Uh,
you, Kristen Ritter didn't really do a whole lot for me until she started playing Jessica Jones.
you're not wrong, dude. I
And
at first I hated the casting. I'm like, really? That's Jessica Jones? Crushed
yeah,
it.
I was
Crushed
like,
it.
huh? But I'm like, but I trust him. We'll see.
Yeah, that first
Yeah,
season was awesome. It
the first
sold me
season,
her
yeah, the
as
first
her.
season was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And like I said, I didn't mind Kristen Ritter, like I said, but she didn't really do it for me until she played Jessica Jones.
Yeah, she was always like a good actress, but I never found her like I would say attractive, but like
She got rid of her bangs. That's what happened.
is that what it is? Just it's the Superman effect. Just
Yeah,
change your hair and boom.
she got rid of her bangs. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Delta Dan said he had he had like 5 sausages on pasta. It looked bomb though.
It really did.
I gotta go back and check that out. Because
It
even
really
she
did.
said he went from egg white to sausage on pasta.
Mhm. As someone who's like trying out like more Italian restaurants in the Chicago area as I live down here, I'm like, where can I get that?
Give me the kingpin meal.
Mm,
Like I don't know, it's gotta be what, like 3,000 calories
right?
minimum.
Mhm. Yeah, that's dangerous. Worth it.
Yeah,
Uh,
worth it.
mhm,
So yeah, Brian froze and he's gone. Yeah. So I know he said he had an issue earlier, so we'll see.
mhm.
Um Delta said Kristen Ritter was good in Breaking Bad.
I liked her on Breaking
She was
Bad.
in Breaking Bad? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
she was Jesse's girlfriend.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
she
I think I remember now.
I forgot how she died. I think it may have been like a drug overdose or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was
Yeah.
I think she did OD.
That's a show I need to go back and watch because that
Yeah.
was awesome. But yeah, hopefully we get Jessica in the second season in Born Again because I think she would fit. I think it would fit pretty well.
Mhm.
If they can get Mike Coulter, I th- I think they can get Finn Jones.
Yeah.
I know they can get him. I don't
Yeah,
know
oh
if they
yeah.
should get him. That's a better
I'd
question,
be
but
I'd be fine with him if they get better writing and better fight choreography for him.
mm,
That's really all he needs. I think he's capable in the role. Heck, the episode of the one episode of Luke Cage that he showed up in, he was awesome.
yeah,
So he's capable of it.
yeah,
They just need to give him the right content. I'd be totally fine with Finn Jones coming back. But yeah, Kristen Ritter, I definitely hope she's back. Mike Coulter, obviously, we need him back. Bring
yeah,
back Finn Jones, give him another shot. You know, I think Brian just messaged.
yeah. I saw his. He has some power
Yeah,
issues
power
with
issues.
his new solar panel.
Mhm,
But yeah, yeah, like you said, I think he can come back. I think a good writer can do some good stuff with him. One thing I noticed in the credit because there's a post credit scene in this one with the Punisher, kind of setting up his side story. I
mhm,
believe, or what's going to happen to him in season 2 and stuff like that. Um, but when I was watching the credits, a name popped up that I'm very familiar with, he was a consulting producer, which was interesting, which means they went with him to make sure things were good. And it was
Mhm.
Brian Michael Bendis, which is a comic book writer, like a really good comic book writer that's done awesome comic books. I believe he's the dude that came up with Miles Morales. I believe he is. I think he created Miles Morales. But he's done a lot of like good stuff. Secret Wars, House of M, Secret Invasion, Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
He
He did
created Riri
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Williams.
Yeah.
He created Jessica Jones.
Mhm.
He created Miles Morales. So, or co-created, I should say. So, I think that was interesting seeing his name as a consulting producer, not just as a regular producer or even executive producer. He was a consulting producer, which means they went to him for information and help and stuff. Which I'm like, yeah, can we do that more, please? Can we like talk to awesome comic book creators and get them to help out with production? Because this episode was, like I said, was really good.
Mhm.
It just didn't feel like finale, but the episode, just as an episode, was a really good episode. And I was like, is that why? Is because we had Brian Michael Bendis, as a producer. So I don't know, maybe. But what do you think? You think having a comic book guy helping out with a comic book show was a good idea?
It depends on the content and who they are. If they're being brought on as a consultant, you know what? Scratch that. Yes, I do. Because you know, mm, very seldom in a lot of cases does anyone understand the world and the content
Yeah,
better than them. So yes, more often than not, I do think you kind of need them just to steer the showrunners and the writers and the directors in the right direction. Make sure that they're staying on task.
yeah.
So
Also, I'm
yes.
looking up. He was shit. A consulting producer for for Daredevil Born Again.
Hmm.
Um, and also a consulting producer for the first season of Jessica Jones.
Hmm.
The first season of Jessica Jones is amazing.
Yeah, it's Pete.
So, yeah. So, I mean, if that's what we need, I mean, get these guys, get them to do more work like that,
Mhm.
like come in and give their ideas on what should possibly happen,
Yep.
or help, with getting a good idea of what the character is and what they should do and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm super down for that.
Yep.
Yeah. But he was also a executive producer on Jessica Jones season 2 and 3. So yeah, but yeah, I never noticed his name before until this last episode.
Hmm.
So I was pretty happy with that though.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I like his work, so happy
yeah,
that they brought him on in that capacity. I was good with it.
yeah, yeah. So, um, but cool. You got anything else?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Hate that we have to wait a year until something happens, and I hope that it's not yet another just trailer for the third season.
oh god, that would suck. No, that would really suck.
Hmm.
That would really suck. But yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. But so super fun episode. I really enjoyed this episode. It
Yep.
just sucks. It's the last one.
Yep.
It just felt like it just started. Like the show just started right now, and it's done.
Hmm.
So it's annoying. We'll finish off with some of your comments real quick. She said, "I don't think they make those type of dishes in restaurants. That was like 3 orders in one." Yep, that's the Kingpin special. Yeah. Uh, yeah. And she said, "Please don't bring Finn Jones." That was a big no for me.
He
Yeah,
was not the problem.
yeah, yeah. I don't think the show was a a lot of problems, but
Mhm.
yeah, he's a very capable actor too.
Yeah.
You know, like you said. Delta Dan saying the same thing. Finn Jones. All the Finn Jones hate. No, I think season 2 is gonna be fire.
Again, he was not the problem.
No,
But then I'm a little annoyed at Delta Dan tonight anyway. So yeah.
He said sorry, but he had to do it. So good. But yeah, season 2 is gonna be fire. I think so. I think so because it's gonna be the second half of the story. So and the second half of a story is always when the big fights happen, the climax happens, the resolution happens. So yeah. Season 2 is gonna be good. It just sucks that it shouldn't be called season. It should legit be called part 2.
Season 1.5.
Yeah, exactly. But cool. It's like Brian got kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty much our thoughts for it. This one,
Mhm.
I kind of want to hear what you guys think. If you're watching on the replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about this finale and the whole season as a whole. What you guys thought about it. So leave your comments. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Come and join us when we talk about all these MCU shows and movies. We got Thunderbolts. We got Superman coming out. We got Fantastic Four coming out. So we got a lot of cool comic book stuff to talk about. Whether it's good or bad, we'll see. We'll find out. But cool. That's it for us. If you are in the live chat, stick around because we are going to get into some more of your comments right